Joe, one third of the Sam, the legend behind the techie.
We are live, guys. I'm Sam, Mr. Blitz Tech.
And I'm Revenue GS.
I'm Joe, one third of the Cyber Nerds.
And this is The Last of Us Part 2 Inside the Demo. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Happy birthday, Raven. Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. You alright?
What's this birthday beats or something?
But I just wanted to...
I just
happy birthday,
using
man.
Nigerian hands.
Happy
like
birthday, man. I just wanted to show you some
that.
birthday love, innit?
Thank you.
Me. Sam's ignoring
Don't
you,
need to get physical though, innit?
Bro, sometimes physical, innit?
Right,
Get
cool.
me.
Appreciate that.
If you haven't already, wish this man a happy birthday. Then subscribe to the channel. Then like the video.
Now subscribe first, and then wish him a happy birthday. It's not
Priorities.
It's not that important.
It's
You
not
gave the priorities thing straight, bro.
Subscribe first, and then
It's
get to the
fine.
comments.
Do everything in life. Guys, how's it going today?
I want to watch this thing, innit? I want to see the game more. I mean, obviously, we saw that gameplay that they released a year ago that I still believe is doctored footage and not real.
Yeah.
So I need to see more. I need to see someone with a controller actually playing it and see Ellie go from shooting someone to running to sliding through a gap, picking up something like... It looked like a movie, innit? So I need to see someone with a controller playing that.
We actually haven't seen game footage, have
No, we have. This is what I'm talking about.
Like
Have
E3.
we?
Yeah.
They showed us some
the experience.
sick
No,
thing.
they did. The one where it's sneaking behind.
Exactly,
behind
you're in the
counter.
shop.
Where she
Yeah,
goes
like
underneath,
stuff.
she's underneath the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't believe that's real. Like, I don't believe that's real, innit? I don't believe it's real.
Not
Choosing
this
not
year.
to believe, man.
Bruv,
But I
we've
feel
been
like
here
they
bare
played-
times.
We
We've
have.
been here
Yes, we
bare
have.
times, fam. And listen, guys, I want it to be real. For you, man, you Josie hater, shut up. I want it to be real, but I've seen enough E3 gameplay footage, and then the game come out and it ain't nothing like that, fam. Get me? The Division, Watch Dogs, fam. No, I'm not gonna say no Naughty Dog games because they don't usually do that. But at the same time, it's a mad thing.
Yeah, the Division. I just remembered. I didn't even clock that, man. When we watched the Division, it was nothing like that when man was playing.
Fam. And the game still bangs. The game
No,
still
game bangs.
Yeah.
But just because you said that, I remembered like, oh yeah, that's mad.
Fam, so like that's what I want to see.
Twangs. Like, and man actually forgets when playing the game.
Yeah, but the hype was there. Your whole hype. You remember the hype energy.
Your money was in the bank account
Fam,
already.
exactly.
That's mad. That's
Exactly.
Mad, that's
So,
mad.
bro, look, I'm already pre-ordering the game. You get me? That's not a debate, but I just want to know that what they're showing us is the real thing, fam. Get me?
And we spoke about this last time, right?
What's that?
This game. Didn't we shoot this like?
Yeah,
Last week we did.
yeah.
Yeah, we did the trailer. We did the official trailer.
And there is the first one. Is the first one?
It's out
Isn't the
today?
What are you talking about?
isn't the first one coming out on
PlayStation Plus.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Still gonna play it?
Yeah, I guess.
It's the remastered version.
Remastered is remastered.
It's the remastered, yeah. But
Okay.
it's not really a remaster, and it's just a game.
It's
Fam,
just-
it's mad what they did in it. It's mad what they did.
Go on.
They released the game, bro. Don't laugh, because you know what? We've had this conversation.
We have.
before.
I just wanna, you know.
They released The Last of Us on like the last day of the PlayStation 3 in it, yeah.
Okay.
And then 6 months later, they was like, oh, here's the remastered on PS4 with all the
They
DLC.
put the app on you, man.
Fam!
Yeah? They put the app on you,
Fam!
man.
And it's like, and this is why I was so against playing remastered. I was like, bear man were like, oh, play remastered. I said, fam, man paid full price for the game on PS3, battered it, fam. And then these man dropped this 6 months later. I said, this is premeditated and malicious.
Absolutely.
So,
Malicious?
no, it's malicious. It's malicious. Bro, they're doing it again. This is about to come out now on the last day of PS4. PS5 is going to drop with the remastered Last of Us 2. Fam, they're doing it again.
Because you know who's been doing this, but haven't been separating the console cycles, Nintendo. Like with Zelda, they would release a GameCube version and then a Wii version. And I think they did the same thing with Switch.
Okay.
So what's the latest one called? You've been playing it, haven't you?
I ain't played it in a
Breath of the Wild.
minute.
Breath of the Wild. So that was also on Switch and the Wii U. So it's
So it's the same game.
Same game. Just in two different consoles at the same time.
But I don't think that's like
I see
that's
what-
as bad as what these men are doing.
Like they
I don't think that's as bad.
made it for both
Yeah,
consoles.
they made it, and I'm pretty sure for the Switch looks better than those consoles.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
Even
All
though
the powers.
it's not like the platform is completely different from these type of platforms like Xbox, PlayStation, PC. Because Nintendo platform is just like 2D through and through. You know what I'm saying? It's not really like 3D-ish type. Doesn't.
You take Breath of the Wild. That's not 3D, no.
Yeah, it is, but it's not the same as these type of games we play. Like the depth,
Yeah,
like it doesn't take. I don't think it takes as much like memory and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Yes, I agree.
But if they're dropping it free on PlayStation Plus, then how can man not play it? Do you get me? But then I'm looking at my trophy list. Like I'm gonna have two The Last of Us.
Yeah, I hate doing that. I don't
And the potential to have both of them unplatinumed.
No, there's no way you do that twice though.
Yeah, bro. But remastered, have I got to do the DLC? Have I got to do the multiplayer?
Yes.
Even though it will have a thriving community because it's on PlayStation Plus, that's a lot. It's a commitment. It's a commitment.
Yeah, you do that first. Get out of the way. You know you can do the story.
Yeah.
Wait, did you not platinum?
This was The Last of Us came out. I feel like
You wasn't on that platinum
before
life.
my platinum drive came, and then I went back to go get it, but I was so deep in PS4, I wasn't like coming back was hard. Do you know what I'm saying? Even though graphically and all of that stuff, it was there. It was just because I'd played the game before and blah blah, and it was like, oh, there's new games. I didn't go back. So remastered is the perfect opportunity for me to go for the Last of Us Platinum. Innit?
Gotcha.
And you got the Game of the Year stuff as well. So you got Left Behind.
Yeah, I got all of the DLC, but I had that on PS3 as well. But like, do you know what I'm saying? Get me?
All right, cool. Let's dive in. Viewer's discretion advised. This may be appropriate for some users.
It's been about a year and a half since we showed anything from The Last of Us Part 2. In that time, we've really been kind of like heads down, quiet, because we want to make sure we have the proper time to do this game justice.
It's definitely our most ambitious in scope game that we've ever made.
We really wanted to wait until we had something awesome and new and exciting to talk about because we've been so mysterious.
Outbreak Day has always been a way for us to communicate with the fans about The Last of Us. It was like the day the outbreak happened in the fictional world of The Last of Us. And once we had this opportunity to line everything up for Outbreak Day, or in this case, kind of an Outbreak Week, we decided to put out a story trailer with the date of when the game's coming out, and then show the press actual gameplay, let them get hands-on with the game.
These men are sick, you know.
We're always trying to strike a balance of getting people excited for this game, show them a bit more of a glimpse of the themes this game is about, the cycle of violence, this idea of how far would you go to exact revenge to bring justice to the people you love. And then we also show that Joel is back and you get to see him for the first time.
What the hell are you doing here?
You think I'd let you do this on your own?
So we're coming into that first demo in wintertime where snow covers much of the ground, much of the buildings, all the surrounding areas. We see what's life like 25 years after a pandemic has wiped out most of mankind. We pick up Ellie, who was 14 in the first game, is now 19. She's living in the city, Jackson.
Which is where Ellie and Joel have been living for the past 4 years in this sweet settlement. What we come upon is their regular day-to-day life. We're coming in on Ellie and Dina, her best friend, patrolling the outskirts of Jackson, looking for infected to clear out to keep the area safe.
Ellie and Dina at this point have been friends for several years, but there's been underlying romance between these two characters. From the demo we put at E3, where you saw this festival and this dance, and these two characters kissed for the first time, this demo takes place the day after.
And then over the course of the level, they encounter some truly dangerous things.
We wanted, just across the board, to make the enemies more threatening, to raise the tension that we started establishing with the first game. So that means the infected, even the lowest class, the runners,
did you see that?
are more dangerous.
See what? The way she picked up the ball.
Something that was really important to us was empowering all of our characters, right, and making them all equal.
It was
Ellie, as we saw in the first game, is incredibly capable, but this is a world where you need to be capable to survive, and we wanted to empower everybody.
So
And
realistic.
the way that reflects in combat is, yeah, Dina is way more effective.
So when we have Dina going out, while she may seem the less hardened character, she knows how to use a gun, she knows how to stealth, she knows how to kill a clicker as well as Ellie.
When we were looking to expand on The Last of Us 1 to The Last of Us 2, one of the things that jumped out as being an avenue that was really worth exploring was traversal. Ellie is so much more agile, kind of more athletic, that it seemed like we should really pursue this whole avenue of gameplay. Introducing like a real jump, like a real arcing jump, has allowed us to make for much more interesting puzzles, more interesting vertical environments, and can frequently integrate well into combat setups as well.
She's able to move quickly in a lot of different ways. She can dodge attacks. She can squeeze through, we call them squeeze throughs. Oh, looks like I could fit through that. Oh, I can fit through that. That's cool.
And that has been such a great integration into the combat loop of like, you're fleeing an enemy, or you're trying to get a flank, you're in stealth, and you just kind of like scooch into a room or behind an object. In The Last of Us, you kind of rely on your weaponry. Like, they're frequently the difference between life and death. They're with you for the entire game. A lot of the gameplay choices that you make are based on how you use them, how you evolve them over time through your upgrades. We really wanted to give an opportunity to look at them up close, to interact with them physically. And so the workbench seemed like the ideal place to do that.
I think over the course of the level, just talking about the tech for a second of just a snowy environment, we've got all the deforming snow stuff you'd expect, brushing by on horseback a branch and the snow falling and collecting on the horse, like all these things you would expect in a realistic grounded world. We have this weather, the storm kind of kicks up over the course of the level. It goes from more of a clear day into a blizzard. It's all just to build this tension of, the mess that they got themselves into. Can they make it safely out?
Dina, where are you? Eventually, they end up in this old abandoned library, and it's in this moment where Dina really pokes and wants to get the ball rolling on this flirtation, wants to bring down Ellie's walls.
And they kind of reveal to each other how much they like each other.
You're infuriating. Have you met you?
And then we have a second demo that the press played that's like much later in this story where Ellie has started going down this road of revenge. She finds herself in Seattle, pitted against this group that controls the city.
Called the WLF. They're kind of a little bit like a militia that has taken over the town, and they have a very zero tolerance policy on people who are not from Seattle, kind of intruding on their space.
And she hears over the radio that a male trespasser has been spotted, and she knows that the WLF are closing in on him. And so we find her negotiating this abandoned hillside suburb.
And she's running into this new enemy type of guard dogs that the WLF are using. Dogs have a new sense of perception to bring to the table, which kind of puts this really interesting wrinkle on stealth gameplay, where so far you've been dealing with sight and sound, trying to stay out of sight, trying to move slowly to be quiet. But now with enemy dogs, you have to worry about them picking up your scent trail.
If you go into listen mode, you can see, we have a visualization of that scent, so you can see like when the dog is sniffing you and where it's going. You can throw bottles to distract the dog off of your scent, and it just adds this extra tension.
The second part of the demo, even though you're fighting mostly human enemies, we're introducing one of our new infected classes, the Shambler.
And the Shambler is kind of a lumbering, tankier enemy that can take a lot of punishment. They'll kind of chase you down and try to get towards you and then burst and leave behind one of these lingering, corrosive clouds.
In the demo, we have this mini boss fight, and that class happens to be a stalker. It's a class between runners and clickers. It's a class that can hide and run away, and we wanted to do a lot more with them in this game. And because we have this evade mechanic, you can kind of go toe-to-toe with someone, and we can have these boss fights that we weren't able to have before. So you guys can go back and forth and exchange combos and evade each other and slam each other onto like discs, and we can now render all these physics objects, and it's all done in service of just grounding you more in this world, making you more immersed in this fight and feel like Ellie is barely surviving by the edge of her abilities.
So for The Last of Us 2, we've kind of almost completely overhauled the player upgrade system. For the first time in the game, you're able to learn entirely new crafting recipes just via the upgrade system.
Oh my
These are abilities that
word.
make your character feel really different. You are really able to pursue the playstyle of your choice and kind of make the Ellie that you're playing your individual Ellie.
We designed the whole experience to be something where it's a balanced stealth experience where you have a lot of tools to escape, you have a lot of tools to evade, you can entirely stealth past everyone.
Got something. We'll look into it.
And then the other big thing we did to immerse the player is make the human enemies much more threatening. They communicate a lot more between each other. Their AI is much more sophisticated. We rewrote most of the systems for this game. So much of this game is a conversation about the cycle of violence and how do we make violence feel impactful to the player.
You can't stop this.
Enemies have names. So when you're going around and you shoot someone, you might hear someone yell their buddy's name and they're now upset and agitated and that changes their behavior.
We got something.
To make a fully realized world, to really honor the impact of this violence, you have to honor every person in it. Nobody's a hero here.
The demo is 2 to 3 hours of the game. You're seeing 2 different seasons, 2 different times of the year. It feels like a lot, and it's a tiny fraction of this entire game. And as we get closer to release, we're going to show more and more of the game, but we're going to be very mindful and conscious to not spoil like big things about this game. And I'm just super stoked for people to finally see the whole thing once it's out on February 21st, 2020.
Stress.
You ain't even played the first one.
Fam, I'm watching this one, fam.
But I'm just saying, like the emotional, the emotional ties
Fam,
is
I'm here,
mad.
I'm stressed already because I'm like, I just agreed I'm playing the first one.
Nah, it looks sick, fam. It looks sick, but bruv, it definitely, they didn't show, like, just the gameplay they showed wasn't like the gameplay from the first thing, bruv. They showed some clips, like, bruv, at the beginning, yeah, so something gets knocked over and the bottle is rolling. And I don't know if it was part of the tutorial, but she like reached out and picked it up like so organically and then they had the quick throw. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I've not seen that before. Like obviously usually bottles are static and stuff like that. But it was rolling, so like if you grabbed it from too far, do you not reach it?
Yeah, you missed it. And then you might hit something, make noise and then
But
your
I'm just saying, that happened. That was sick. That was sick, bro. But yeah, it's looking mad.
I did a lot. The most of the mechanics I've kind of noticed, they were saying like people calling out people's names and they get agitated and the whole scent thing. That's from I don't know what game. I think it's like Wolverine or something. Like Wolverine himself. Like if he goes on a stealth mission, he start killing. Start killing people, and he himself had like scent.
He had the scent, and he could follow people around with the scent of that.
So now they switched it around to an enemy type. I think that's actually kind of live and they're bringing it back. That is sick.
One thing that they've done in this game, which is sick, is just they've taken all of the things that they already did and really expanded on it more. And it's like you see these elements in other games, like the crafting thing. One thing I love about the crafting thing is as soon as I saw it, I was like, why did more games not do this? Have your character's hands actually upgrading the thing, because they've got the same thing in Tomb Raider, but all you see is the gun floating, and they do it in what's the other game I just played? Days Gone. You're upgrading a gun, but the gun's just upgrading on its own. Just seeing Ellie's hands moving the thing here, doing the thing there, I think it's it makes it really. I think that's sick as well. The dog enemy types.
That's gonna be a mission, fam. And on hard, you don't have the extra.
You ain't got none of that. You ain't got none of that.
So you gotta remember where you went,
fam. It's mad. It's mad.
Oh, this new clicker type, 2 of them.
No, it's mad. The one with the clicker, the mix between the runner and the clicker.
What's a runner? Alright, so what's a runner?
A runner's like we would say our regular infected person. They can see you. They're just gonna chase you.
Right.
That's it. A clicker,
so like a zombie.
An infected. They're infected. They're infected.
Yeah.
Then a clicker is one of the ones that can't see. It's more. It's been infected.
Look at you.
Who's that? Me.
Who's that?
That's you.
How's that mean? That's not my ringtone.
Whose phone's that?
My phone's over there, so. And that ain't my ringtone.
I guess that's that birthday phone call.
Boy, alright, so a clicker.
Yo, stop calling, fam. Do you want me to get up and
I don't know what's happening. I just don't know what's happening.
Fam, who stays on the phone for that long, like?
Alright, so basically a clicker has been infected for longer, so the fungus has grown more, so then they lose sight, click, click, click.
And they use the click to pinpoint where you are.
I don't know if
the noise they make,
I think the clicking is just a noise they make, or maybe it's some sort of intimidation thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Because it sounds like, I can't remember what movie where they use like the clicking to
Vibrate sound.
Yeah, to
I know what
vibrate.
you're saying.
What movie is that?
I don't know what movie it is, but they don't ever like. I think if you do stay still, unless they bump into you, they will allow you. Do you get what I'm saying? But
so don't make no noise. Don't stay well away from them.
But there's nothing you can do no more anyway, because like the ones now they got ones that can see you, hear you, and then the dogs can smell you. So it's peak. And them saying the thing is in the first game, I just remember beefing humans was a stress because of like they were intelligent, fam. And also the lack of ammo in this game is one of the peakest things. Like, bro, man will have 6 bullets for like 2 hours in this game, fam.
Yeah,
like,
but I think that's the kind of stuff that we spoke about in the other game, where it's like, okay, if you run out of ammo but you're out in the wild, you should be able to put 2 things together and use it as a weapon.
You make shoes.
No, but you can do that in this. You can do that.
That's what I'm saying. So really and truly, like, okay, yeah, bullets are, I guess, the next best thing, but yo.
No, but you are
out in the wild,
screwed.
so.
Like, it's a very stealthy game, innit? But you are screwed if one, you come across heavy ammo types, and if you make a noise.
So you mean like the not militia, but
those kind of guys, yeah. So if they got like automatic rifles and stuff, and you just mess up, your
it's
day
cool,
will
man.
go,
Just bring that Rambo from within, innit? And be able to.
Because you haven't played this game, you're saying it like.
Why are you guys trying to put fear in my heart, fam?
Bro, the game is mad, bro.
Fantasize,
It's sick anyway, but yeah, man's all over this thing.
Yeah, man. This was live. Guys, let us know in the comments down below. What do you think of the gameplay? What do you think of the upgrades? What do you think is still missing? Do you think they? What do you think?
What do you mean?
Like,
why do you ask these ridiculous questions?
I don't know.
There's nothing missing. Buy the game.
That's a very good point. Just get the game and play the first one if you haven't. Like, why haven't you played? That's the question. Why haven't you played the first one?
Thank you.
Why haven't you played the first one? Because this is going to be live.
What was missing? What was missing, Sam?
That they haven't played the first one.
Okay.
So why are you going to watch the second one?
Okay.
Alright, cool. I'm Sam, Mr. Blitz Tech.
And I'm Revenue G.
I'm Joe, on Further the Cybernerds.
And we'll see you on the next trailer reaction. Peace.